Hey folks, we're going to be watching a video today, and I'm going to title it One of the Dumbest Things Richard Dawkins Ever Said. And also, I want to tell you, if you really want to get into debating atheists and showing them how atheism is madness, go to this website here, debatesonvideo.blogspot.com. Notice how to always defeat an atheist in debate 100% of the time. And then what you do, go over here where it shows all these years right here. Click 2019, for example, and this is an excellent debate. You'll actually see the video of Cliff defeating Matt Dillahunty in debate, and Cliff asked Matt to provide proof and evidence that would show atheism is accurate and correct, and Matt cannot answer it. It's great. You'll see that in debate. Also, there's some debates that I've had here you can listen to, but let's get to the stupid thing that Richard Dawkins said. Oh, by the way, here's February. Let's go to February. And you have Ray Comfort defeating Lawrence Krauss in a little casual debate there. One of the things you're going to see here with Ray Comfort and Lawrence Krauss is Ray Comfort asked Lawrence Krauss, can this book create itself? He has like a magazine in front of him, this booklet. And Lawrence Krauss says, yes, it can create itself. It's just so stupid. Here's Christopher Hitchens being defeated by Frank Turek. Here's Ken Ham defeating Bill Nye. Here is Dr. William Lane Craig defeating Kevin Sharp. This is a really good debate where Christian Dinesh D'Souza debates and defeats David Silverman. And then this one here is where Dr. William Lane Craig debates and defeats Sam Ho-Hum Harris. So let's get to the stupidest thing, one of the stupidest things, the dumbest thing that Richard Dawkins has ever said, and we're going to show you the error of his ways. Okay, so here we go. This agnostic guy is about to ask Richard Dawkins a question, and he basically tells Richard Dawkins, that atheists, if they're all just into one thing, just science, that they tend to have people don't like the personality of the atheist is basically what he says. That's why his face is all scrunched up like that. And that's what's so wonderful about being a Christian. You can embrace science. As a matter of fact, it is Christianity that gave birth to science. It was the West that really got science on the right track, where we have so much information now through scientific study. We have a lot to thank to the Christians for that. And it's interesting that when Christian scientists were discovering different things using science, they didn't say, oh, therefore God doesn't exist. When they saw order and design in the universe and order within DNA and language, DNA is a language, they didn't say, oh, therefore God doesn't exist. It doesn't follow. If anything, we've never seen this complex design being created by anything but life. Life does not come from non-life. But let's get into one of the dumbest things Richard Dawkins ever said, and pay close attention. Let's see if you can figure out the error of Richard Dawkins.
Desiccated and dry, and to miss out on the magic and mystery of one's experiences and the world and so on. You dispute that, right?
So not only dispute it, it's just the exact opposite of the truth. Science is wonderful. Science is amazing. The fact that you could understand why you exist, who could not be turned on, who could not be...
Now, did you hear that? The fact that you could understand why we exist. What is the objective purpose of an atheist? Let's go through this and watch what he says. He actually says that there is no objective purpose to atheism, but he lies. And what he says here is the complete opposite of what atheism is. Listen closely, and then we'll point out his lie. And one thing you got to know about atheists, the lie is what they'll always say. They won't say the truth. Because the truth of atheism is that the atheist has no objective purpose in life. I'm going to show you why. But he is going to say that you actually have purpose in life when it's the complete opposite. He's going to say the lie. And let me prove it to you, but let's continue with this.
Be excited by that. Who would ever want to live in a world where you live your life, you go to work, you go to the office, whatever it is, you go to the football match, and this goes on year after year, and then you die?
Now, wait a minute. This is exactly what atheists have to say, is that their life has no purpose. They go to work every day or the football match, whatever he was just saying, and then you die. Listen closely. What I'm about to tell you guys are facts. Stone, cold, hard facts. Here's the fact. Number one, if God doesn't step in and save the universe from destroying itself, which is what scientists say is going to happen, unless, of course, God steps in like Scripture says he's going to. If God doesn't step in, the end result of all of mankind, of everyone on the earth, and in the future, if we ever, colonize other planets, there'll be no escape. Everyone's dying in the universe. The universe is going to die. It's like a clock winding down. Everyone knows this. The atheists don't want to talk about it because this is the Achilles heel of atheism. If that's true, then what Richard Dawkins just said is actually the complete opposite. He's saying, well, it's great to know that you have this purpose, and then rather than you just go to work or go to the football game and then you just die. On atheism, it doesn't really matter whatever mankind does to improve society or to improve the world, to eradicate hunger and all these things, because in the end, science has shown us, again, I'm going to put that little caveat unless God steps in, that the universe is going to die. And everyone within it, it doesn't matter where you're at in the entire universe, everyone will die. Let that sink in, my atheist friends. What Richard Dawkins just said is actually not true. I know you guys are shocked that atheists lie. What he actually said, where he said, isn't it great to know that you just don't go to work, go to the football game, and then you die? No, that's really the purpose of an atheist. Now, contrast that to a Christian. The worldview of an atheist is, yes, they don't believe God's going to step in and save the universe from dying. They can't say they're an atheist, but yes, they believe God's going to step in and save the universe from dying, right? They have to say, nope, the end result is the universe is going to die. Everyone within it will die. There will be no life whatsoever, because on their view, God would not step in. But see, on the Christian view, God does step in. Scripture says he creates a new heaven and a new earth. So the Christian can have an objective purpose. The Christian is told by Jesus Christ, the great one, that we're going to live forever. So let's just take the Christian worldview, what Christians say, and let's take the atheist worldview. Let's just pretend the atheist worldview is truth. Well, on the atheist worldview, then, it's the complete opposite of what Richard Dawkins says. They just live, and then they die, and there's no purpose. And they can't say, well, it's to leave a better world for the next generations to come. Well, what difference does it make if everything's going to die anyways? Nobody will be there to remember it. Atheism ends in stinking, rotting, pathetic death. There is no objective purpose. Now, he could pretend like, the Barbie and Ken dream house, but let's play this clip back one more time, and now listen to what he says, and you'll realize what he's saying is a lie. It actually ends the complete opposite way that Richard Dawkins is saying. If you're atheist, you have to go where the science is. God's not going to step in because atheists reject God's existence. Basically, everything is for nothing. Listen to this.
Even in a secular country like this, We have arrived at a point where there's a sort of latent belief within the popular consciousness that to be scientific is to somehow be sort of desiccated and dry, and to miss out on the magic and mystery of one's experiences and the world and so on. You dispute that, right?
Now watch, listen closely. I want you guys to see this. Look at the despair in his eyes. Despair is honest atheism. Look into those eyes. You could see literally into his soul that atheism ends in despair. He knows it. If you're an atheist, you must admit that in the end, imagine that atheism is a book and you're going through the year 2000, the year 2019, the year 2050, the year 2000, and you keep going and you go to the end of the age, the universe collapses in on itself, because after all, you guys can't say God's going to step in and save everyone like Christians can. Everything dies. What was the purpose? It was just madness. Now, watch how he tries to put a happy face on his worldview. He never gets around to say what the purpose is of atheism. There is no objective purpose. He's talking about to know how we were created is like our objective purpose. Really? That's lame. Let's continue.
So, not only dispute it, I mean, it's just the exact opposite of the truth. Science is wonderful. Science is amazing. The fact that you could understand why you exist, who could not be turned on, who could not be excited by...
Now, wait a minute. Why does he exist? He must say that he just exists like a shooting star that's just goes across the sky and just fades away. There is no objective purpose to the atheist life. This is why atheists, listen, they have the highest suicide rate in the world. There's a reason why despair is honest atheism. He's saying that it's wonderful and all this stuff. But, well, what's so wonderful about it if you're just going to live and die and the whole universe dies and everyone dies? It's madness. It's actually depressing. There's nothing positive about that. It's just all madness. Now, I've asked Richard Dawkins just to answer one simple question. What proof and evidence do you have that atheism is accurate and correct? Do you know his response was he's not claiming that God exists. That God doesn't exist, I should say. He's saying that God could exist. He's got a little scale, 1 to 7. 7 meaning God could exist in his opinion, 1 meaning he doesn't. And it's so stupid. Why isn't the scale 1 to 20 or 1 to 3? Or it's so stupid. We know that God either exists or he doesn't exist. The scale, based on what his thinking is irrelevant to the facts that God exists. But watch what he says. He tries to put a happy face on the despair, but despair is honest atheism.
That who would ever want to live in a world where you live your life, you go to work, you go to the office, whatever it is, you go to the football match, and this goes on year after year, and then you die.
But that's what's going to happen. That is honest atheism. Despair is honest atheism. Now, the Christian, as I mentioned, can have an objective purpose. God exists. The most famous person in world history, Jesus Christ, said that we're going to live forever. We know that Scripture says that God's going to step in. He's going to save mankind. We're going to have a new heaven and a new earth. Well, that worldview makes sense if you want to say you have an objective purpose. But on atheism, and I'm not even adding or taking away from their worldview, on their worldview, the way it is, it ends in death. Despair is honest atheism.